Welcome to our journey into the past. Today, we delve into the fascinating world of ancient Scandinavia, a land of mystery and history, where the echoes of our ancestors still linger in the wind. Before we begin, let's remember that this video is based on current scientific understanding and is subject to change as new discoveries are made. Please find the complete disclaimer in the video description below. Our voyage into the past takes us back almost 6 millennia, into a world vastly different from the one we inhabit today. Picture a land untouched by the hands of time, a place where the wild held dominion and nature dictated the rhythm of life. This was Scandinavia, a land of pristine beauty, where the indigenous hunter-gatherers roamed free, living in harmony with the land. However, as the sands of time flowed, change was inevitable. As the sun set on the era of the hunter-gatherers, it rose to herald the arrival of a new breed of settlers, the first farmers. They were the harbingers of a new age, an age that would forever alter the course of Scandinavian history. So, let's embark on this journey together, tracing the footsteps of the first agrarian settlers, exploring their impact, and understanding the profound changes they ushered in. Brace yourself, for we are about to dive into a tale of dramatic change, a saga of survival, adaptation, and evolution. Let's begin. Our story commences some 5,900 years in the past, marking the advent of the first agrarian settlers in Scandinavia. The sun had just begun to rise, casting its warm golden hue over the Scandinavian landscape. It was an era that bore witness to the initial footsteps of pioneers, the first farmers who dared to venture into the untamed northern wilderness. These newcomers, however, were not your typical peaceful settlers, merely seeking solace in the untouched beauty of the region. They were not solely driven by the desire to till the pristine soil and live harmoniously with the land. The allure of the land was undeniable, was a more profound, transformative objective that they carried within their hearts. With them, they brought an unforeseen wave of change, akin to a mighty tempest, powerful and unpredictable. Their arrival signified more than just a physical presence. It was a paradigm shift, a turning point that marked a new epoch in Scandinavian history. They were not merely passive participants in the grand scheme of things, but active agents of change. Every seed they sowed, every field they plowed, every home they built was a testament to their indomitable spirit. With their arrival, the landscape began to transform. The once wilderness began to bear the marks of human activity. Fields of wildflowers were replaced by cultivated crops, and dense forests gave way to expanding settlements. Their way of life, hitherto unknown to the region, began to thrive and proliferate, altering the face of the region in ways unimaginable. This change, however, was not entirely benign. The indigenous hunter-gatherers who had called this land home for ages saw their world turn upside down. Their harmonious coexistence with nature was suddenly challenged, their ways deemed obsolete in the face of the new agrarian lifestyle. Within a few generations, the hunter-gatherers, who had populated the area and lived in harmony with the land for centuries, found themselves on the brink of extinction. Their numbers dwindled, their culture faded, and their legacy threatened. Tragically, within a breath of a few generations, the once thriving hunter-gatherer population that had populated the area was almost entirely wiped out. The dawn of the new age had set, and with it came the twilight of an old one. As we delve deeper into this historical tale, we are reminded of the profound impact of change, of the relentless march of progress, and the inevitable ebb and flow of time. This is not a tale woven from the threads of speculation or conjecture. This narrative isn't a patchwork quilt of guesses and imaginative leaps. It's not a story conjured from thin air, nor a fabled account scrawled in the margins of history. It's the tale of an epic, of a massive societal shift that reverberated through time and left its mark in an indelible medium. We are not talking about fanciful tales spun by bards. We are talking about a story in the most ancient and unalterable of archives, the DNA. This narrative is derived from the DNA of those who lived through these tumultuous times. DNA, the microscopic building blocks of life, bearing the imprints of our history, our identity, our evolution. It is a molecule of inheritance, a chemical chronicle that carries the tale of our past within its labyrinthine structure. The DNA of those long gone, those that brave the tides of change, the birth pangs of a new era, speaks volumes of a time when society was on the cusp of a monumental transformation. In an endeavor to decipher this time-worn narrative, a new study has been conducted. Spearheaded by Lund University in Sweden, among others, the study delved into the very essence of the past. They have not just studied ancient texts or relied upon the interpretations of historians. Instead, they have analyzed the DNA from skeletons and teeth found in the region now identified as Denmark. These remnants of a bygone era, excavated from the cold earth, encapsulate the echoes of a forgotten epic within their silent structures. The team painstakingly extracted and analyzed this genetic material, the silent stories embedded within the bones and teeth of these ancient people. Each strand of DNA held a chapter, a verse, a line of a saga that spanned generations. They discovered patterns, sequences, and variations in the DNA that painted a vivid picture of a society in flux. The results of their arduous research, their exploration into the very fabric of our past, have surfaced with compelling revelations. Their findings challenge the long-standing narrative, the previously accepted beliefs held by scholars and academics alike. The prevailing opinion held that the transition from a hunter-gatherer society to a farming one was peaceful. But the voice of the past, murmuring through the DNA, tells a different story. It contradicts this widely accepted notion, compelling us to revisit the pages of our history with fresh eyes and open minds. This is not a tale woven from the threads of speculation or conjecture. The results contradict the prevailing opinion that the transition from a hunter-gatherer society to a farming one was peaceful. Indeed, the research indicates that Denmark has experienced nearly complete population turnovers twice in the past 7,300 years. These two replacements of a societal structure with a completely different one, echoing the ceaseless evolution of human civilizations, have had profound impacts on the genetic and cultural heritage of modern-day Denmark. The first of these population turnovers, as indicated by the archaeological and genetic evidences, unfolded at a time when the hunter-gatherers, who initially populated Scandinavia, were gradually replaced by a new population of farmers. The farmers were distinct in both their origin and physical appearance from the hunter-gatherers, creating a stark contrast in the societal structure. They had arrived from other regions, carrying with them not only the seed of an agricultural revolution, but also the genetic imprint of a different race. They were the bearers of a new way of life, a civilization that relied on farming, livestock rearing, and a more settled lifestyle compared to the nomadic nature of the hunter-gatherers. This societal change, which was not just limited to Denmark but swept across most of Europe, marked the transition from the Mesolithic to the Neolithic era, a period known for the advent of agriculture and the rise of human civilizations. The migration of these farmers to Denmark was not a peaceful assimilation. The displacement of the hunter-gatherers was a violent upheaval, marking a bloody chapter in the history of Denmark's population turnover. The peaceful coexistence between these two distinct societies, the primitive hunter-gatherers and the innovative farmers, was marred by conflicts and likely led to the extinction of the former group. Yet it isn't correct to attribute the disappearance of the solely to the violence perpetrated by the farming population. New evidence suggests that the introduction of new pathogens, possibly brought in by the livestock reared by the farmers, had a significant impact on the hunter-gatherer population. These diseases, against which the hunter-gatherers had no immunity, could have devastated their population, further aiding their eventual disappearance. In the grand scheme of evolutionary history, the introduction of these new pathogens was a watershed moment. The transition from a hunter-gatherer society to an agricultural one brought with it the domestication of animals, which in turn likely resulted in the transmission of zoonotic diseases, contributing to the decline of the hunter-gatherer population. Thus, it wasn't just the violence that led to the disappearance of the hunter-gatherers. The introduction of new pathogens from livestock likely played a significant role as well. But the story doesn't end there. 1,000 years later, around 4,850 years ago, another population change occurred. This time, people with genetic roots in Yamnaya, a livestock herding people with origins in southern Russia, came to Scandinavia and wiped out the previous farmer population. This second wave of newcomers pursued a semi-nomadic life on the steppes, tamed animals, kept domestic cattle, and moved over large areas using horses and carts. This genetic profile is dominant in today's Denmark, whereas the DNA profile of the first farmer population has been essentially erased. These findings do more than just overturn previous theories about peaceful meetings between different groups of people. They provide a deepened understanding of historical migration flows and shed light on the interpretation of archaeological finds and changes in vegetation and land use found in paleoecological data. In conclusion, the history of Scandinavia's first farmers and the fate of the hunter-gatherer population is a tale of dramatic change, of violent upheavals, and the relentless march of progress. It serves as a stark reminder of the power of migration and cultural shifts, and of the impact these can have on a society. It is a story written in the very DNA of the people, a testament to our shared past, and a guide to understanding our present and future. Before we move to the final part of this video, we'd like to take a moment to remind you that the information presented in this video is based on current scientific understanding and is subject to change as new discoveries are made. Please find the complete disclaimer in the video description below. We hope you found this exploration of Scandinavia's ancient history informative and enlightening. If you did, please consider sharing this video with others who might also find it interesting. Your shares help us reach more people and spread knowledge about our shared past. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe to our channel. We regularly publish content on a wide range of topics, from history and archaeology to science and technology. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on all our new releases. Thank you for your time and for choosing to learn with us. Now let's move on to the final part of our video.